Hello everyone, welcome to another video. In today's video, I'm going to share with you a pattern review of the recently released Modern Sewing Company men's worker trousers. Now, I have made the women's version of the worker trousers before and really enjoyed that pattern. Hetty of the Modern Sewing Company actually reached out to me to see if I would like to test the men's version of the worker trousers. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the process of doing just that. I have ordered some muslin fabric from Amazon. I'm going to make a full muslin of the pants before cutting into the final fabric, which admittedly is something that I don't normally do, but because I am making a pair of pants for someone else that I have not made pants for before, I am going to do a full muslin and check the fit before cutting into the fabric. The fabric that I've chosen to make the final pair with is an Eddie Bauer twill from Joann. It's 100% cotton and quite wide, and I have this olive green color, so that's the final fabric plan. I've looked at the measurements that come with the pattern, and I think I need to make the largest size, which surprised me a bit, but the recipient of the pants is quite tall, so I think that there may be a little bit of taking in that has to happen, but in order to get the correct length, I think I need to make the biggest size that comes with the pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and trace out my pattern pieces and cut them out with my tracing paper, and then I will cut out the pieces in the muslin, sew that together, and check the initial fit. So I finished tracing all of my pattern pieces from the paper that I printed out and taped together, and I don't know if I'm done with the original pattern pieces yet. I don't know if I need to make any modifications or reference it again, so I don't want to fold it all up and put it away, and I decided to clip it to my curtain rod backdrop here, just so that if I need to reference it again, I don't have to deal with it being all folded or rolled up. But I thought it would be a good time to mention my basement photo corner. The walls for the basement the external walls are basically concrete. There's very little space between the paneling and the concrete. So I found command strip curtain rod hooks, and then put up a curtain rod that admittedly is probably not long enough. It does dip a little in the middle. And then I just hung an inexpensive photo backdrop piece of cotton. But when you take photos, you can't really see the top. And I really like documenting all of my sewing and knitting projects. And because my making studio space is in the basement, I have a couple of light boxes and this lovely backdrop to take my photos. And it turns out it also doubles as a temporary pattern holding spot. I wanted to share with you the muslin that I purchased on Amazon. It is Rock Ion Nature's Way designed for printing and dyeing. But I got a whole bolt, and the cost of this bolt was less than buying less of it at Joann. And also the width of the fabric is much wider than when you buy muslin from Joann. So I will link that below. It was a very good deal. I got a lot more, and it's a lot wider than purchasing it by the yard from the fabric store. So I'm going to cut out my pattern pieces with this muslin fabric first to test the fit. It's been a couple of days since I finished the pants, and I've actually made a second pair. So I wanted to talk to you about how the first pair went and why I made a second version. So for the first pair, the green twill pair, I cut the largest size, which is the XL3, and I did so based upon the finished measurements on the size chart, and based upon my model's waist and hip measurements. However, during the testing of the pattern, a small error was found in the finished measurement chart. It basically shifted the upper range of the sizes by 5 centimeters. And so the finished measurement that I chose was actually off by 5 centimeters, or about 2 inches, if that makes sense. And so the pants at the waistband came out about 2 inches larger than I expected. So that aside, the pants in general, I think, came out too big for a couple of reasons other than that. So going off of the corrected size chart and the corrected finished measurements chart, I still think that I chose to make a size too large. And I think in part that is because the measurement of the waist and hip of my model, I was worried about them having enough ease at the waist for the pants to be comfortable. The way that the pants are designed is that they sit comfortably right above the hip bone, and then there is quite a relaxed fit at the hip and thigh. And so by choosing my size based upon that waist measurement, or right above the hip measurement on a male body, basically the hips and legs, it was just way too big. And so I spoke to the designer, and she asked me if I would like to make a second pair and to try grading between sizes to get a better fit for this particular individual. And so what I ended up doing was cutting an extra large at the leg and then grading up to the XL1 at the waist. And I will insert some pictures of both versions that I made. The first pair are the green pair that you've been watching me put together. And then the second pair, I actually used the exact same fabric, just in a different color. They're both twills, cotton twills of the Eddie Bauer line at Joann. And I chose to use the same fabric because I wanted a really true comparison of fit, and fabric weight and everything obviously affects the fit. So I got the same fabric in a different color, and I actually really like the royal blue color that I chose for the final version. And so the first pair that I will show you is a straight XL3, and the second pair that I made that the fit is perfect, I'm so happy that I made a second pair, is the extra large leg and the XL1 at the waist, and also the leg length of the XL1. And this model is 6'3", so I think that the length works really well. I was worried about the length initially, but the pattern is designed so that there's enough room in the leg length to have a turn up at the bottom. And so I think even though the pattern is drafted for a 6-foot male, my model being 6'3", the length was just fine. So that's something to keep in mind as well if you're choosing to make these for someone or yourself. So I'm really glad that I made the second pair. And I think the takeaway from all of that for you, if you choose to make the pants for yourself or someone else, would be, because of this style having a more relaxed hip and leg, I would actually pay more attention to the finished hip measurement when choosing the size that you cut out. And the finished hip measurement of your model, the hip measurement of your model or yourself and the finished hip measurement on the chart, I think, is where you should start. And then if your waist is in a different size range, just grade up or down to that to get a really good fit. Because I think if you start with the waist measurement, as I did the first time, the legs and hips might be a little bit too big. So yeah, I'm really pleased with this pattern. I really enjoyed making it, and I'm glad that I took the effort to try again and get the fit just right for this model, because now I have the pattern pieces cut out and I can make as many pairs as I want to and as many different fabrics, and I know they're going to fit really well. Overall, I really recommend this pattern. I think that Hetty of the Modern Sewing Company has really cool designs, and all of the instructions are really, really thorough. They're really clear. The illustrations are really clear that tell you step by step what to do. There's a lot of information about sizing and choosing your size and making a toile or muslin first. Yeah, overall, I think just really solid designs, really wonderful pattern instructions. And she actually has like courses. I've never tried any of them, but if you're a complete beginner, there are instructional videos and stuff that you can purchase. So if you haven't tried a pattern from the Modern Sewing Company yet, I definitely recommend that you do. Whether you're a beginner or an advanced sewist, there's a lot of really good patterns to choose from. I mentioned at the beginning of this video that I was going to make a full muslin for the pants, and it's not something that I typically do, but in making a pair of pants for someone other than myself, and particularly making men's trousers, and I haven't done that before, I wanted to make a muslin to test the fit. And I decided to just cut out one leg because they're symmetrical and I was trying to save fabric, and so I thought I'll just cut out one leg, have him try that one leg on, and then go from there. And I think I really did myself a disservice by doing that. Partially because when you're looking at someone else try something on, it's very different than when you're trying something on and you can feel how it fits. And so when I had my model try on the one leg muslin that I made, he sort of held it up and it looked like it fit great. And I think that if I had made the full pair, it would have been kind of obvious at the beginning that the waist was too big. But because I just had the one leg and he was sort of holding it up to where it should be, it really did look fine. And I was confident cutting into my fabric that the muslin was great, and I was excited that I didn't have to make any changes. So that's something to note as well. Make the full muslin, take the time to make, both legs, the entire thing, and the waste of fabric, I ended up wasting more fabric because I made the wrong size. So that is a lesson learned. We're all learning, right? And I've never made pants for someone else before, and I've never made men's pants before. So if I were to do it again for a different body, I would definitely make both legs the full muslin, try it on, and be really particular about the fit of the muslin. I didn't take a lot of time to inspect it. It looked fine. And so I moved forward. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. Take the time to make a muslin if you've never made pants for, someone else before, or even if they're for yourself and you've not made this particular pattern or style or something from the pattern company before. Yeah, it's worthwhile to make a muslin. And I'll also show you some of the finishings that are really nice. The Modern Sewing Co. instructions always have really clean inside finishings of their garments. So I'll show some clips and, show you the final product, which I'm very pleased with. I'm very, very pleased with this pattern and very happy that I made the second pair. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this video was inspiring. I hope it was interesting. And I hope that you consider making the Modern Sewing Company worker trousers for men and women. Both are great patterns. If you did enjoy this video, please consider giving a like and a subscribe. It really helps out my channel. and I will see you in the next one.